Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to this week's episode of Walking 90. I'm your sad, depressed, very upset, slightly going through sports depression host, Elliot Barr. And it's joining me as two guys that are probably laughing at my pain. I'm being joined in them under the couch while Chip is probably doing the Homer Simpson meme of, sit right here, buddy. After my team loses to the team that has the most scandals in U.S. soccer history outside of the actual federation itself. Also joining me is a man that came back from Houston, probably saw Austin go to the MLS Cup Western Conference Finals, who was down there to enjoy his dad's anniversary. Mr. Kyle Carr, how are you doing, sir?
Good. I had enough Texas. That was enough Texas. 4 days is enough.
Yeah.
About 4 days too much.
Down there?
There's Whataburger, there's Buc-ee's, and that I don't need anything else.
So let me ask you a question. When you order food, do you get a gun with it or bullets?
You know, I didn't get either because I think I was in rural Texas, rural military Texas. The last thing they want to do is give a black man a gun. Now, if I was white, maybe I would have gotten a gun.
This is also true. And also joining me is a guy that is planning to go to France in March and probably be more bougie than us than everyone else.
What's new?
How are you doing, sir? You're going to sign this year. Are you over there for scouting purposes for Union Omaha?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
There you go. You know, family doesn't matter. You can leave the kid in the hotel room.
Mm-hmm. There's some really great games in the French third division that I need to keep my eye on. You know, out there scouting guys. You have Brandon, who's scouting Argentinian players who live in America. I'm scouting French players that live in France. Like, tell me who's winning.
This is also true. Guys, before we get started, I want to ask you guys a question because I put it on Twitter today and it kind of generated some interest. So, what is the most annoying song of the 2010s in your opinion? For me personally, it is the song "Winning" with like DJ Khaled, T-Pain. That's a very annoying song to me. What about y'all?
In the 2010s, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
So some of the ones that I heard were Uptown Funk, Party. What's another one that I heard?
No, Happy.
Yeah, Happy was another one.
Happy, that one I can't stand.
I'm in Nebraska, so I'm a little bit different than you guys. It's got to be all like the generic bro country with guys with like a first name, two first names as their names.
Like Luke Bryan.
Yeah, where it's just all like snap, 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 that stuff. Because it's everywhere. It all sounds the same. It's all like super reductionary and it's all just like horrible. And they play it everywhere.
Yeah,
that was even good.
Another one, and I know I'm going to draw a wrath. We Are Never Getting Back Together by Taylor Swift was annoying as fuck.
Well, here's the funny thing. Any Taylor Swift song sucks. So just gonna put that out there.
You know, that's how we get our engagement up really high. You just tweet that out from the account. We'll have all the.
And that's how we also get a review bombed. But
yeah,
fair.
So guys, we have 2 games to talk about. One game, quote unquote controversy. Another game, quote unquote, kind of your own fault. What game should we start out with?
It's like kind of your own fault.
All right, let's start off with South Georgia and Greenville.
Okay.
This game, y'all, Greenville seemed up for it, but Greenville didn't turn up for it. The goal that they gave away is kind of their own fault. It was a bad play all around, and Tormenta kind of just took over. What do you guys think about this game? Thoughts about it?
It felt like Greenville took way too long to actually try and get into the game, and then when they started getting into the game, it felt as though they were going to score, and it just never materialized.
Yeah.
And I think that was the thing. Like, Greenville took too long to finally, like, I don't want to say get into a rhythm or kick into high gear, but it kind of felt like they were always a step behind, a step slow. Like it just didn't feel like there was urgency there until like the 65th ish minute. Like it was like the 60th minute and like on that it felt like, oh, the urgency finally kicked in and they kind of realized, oh shit, we got to like do stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, and right. And I think, again, as we've said a bajillion times on this podcast, if you want to beat Greenville, you have to score first. And that's what Tormenta did. They scored first, and then Greenville, who, unless Labovitz is on, really lacks an attacking option, had to play catch up and couldn't. They had more shots on goal. They had more shots in general, but they just could not find the back of the net. And South Georgia gets the host, which I don't think a lot of people had at the beginning of the year, but they're hosting the USL 1 finals. I don't even think people had that at the start of the playoffs, but yeah, they're hosting in their brand new stadium, and for $40 you can go.
Wait, time out. Excuse me. How much?
$40, an advance $60 at the door.
How much is that annual? How much is the regular ticket?
I think they're like 15.
Wait. So is that in like supporter section or that like in the main stand?
It's GA. Whole thing's GA.
Oh.
Get the.
So the league gets a cut of the finals, and the league sets a lot of the costs for the finals, which Tormenta made sure people knew, because they said the league is letting us know how much tickets are and we'll announce on Monday.
Yeah.
And so it's a small venue. They don't get a ton of people normally. So it's like, well, we got to get ours. You know, they had in their book, they were booking for 6,000 people in Richmond. Now they're going to get 2,000 in Statesboro instead. So got to close that gap.
$40.
Jeez. Wow. That's wow.
Like, I guess here's what I would say. If $40 was a Richmond or Greenville or Omaha, I would slightly understand that.
I wouldn't.
No.
I said slightly. I said slightly because the league is greedy. So they're like, how are we going to make the most money? We're going to charge a lot of people, and we know they're going to buy it.
Right. So I know, like in Omaha, I think they were, for the berm seats, they were $28 for the final and $25 for the playoffs. But the workaround was you just got a group together of 15 people and you could get in for $15, which is what we did, because you don't have a season ticket for it. So it's like, well, I think I can find 15 friends to all go in on tickets, and then just, asking around town, showing people up. I think we had like 150 people in my group by the end. So I was just passing that thing out like candy, saying, hey, call Sayer on Chip's group, get into the game, $15, let's go.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm sure the league, if it was in one of those spots, they would still charge it. And I'd be like, y'all are wild and being greedy, but at least I understand why you're doing it, because you're going to get people. This is absurd.
Yeah, that's highway robbery, dog.
Like, if this was in Chattanooga or Statesboro, you got to have it be like $25.
There's got to be a halftime act. Like, somebody got to be singing or dancing.
And, and again, I think there's the context of it, but imagine if Chattanooga was hosting and they trotted out $40 tickets. You'd have all of the CFC fans up their ass. You'd have all of League One up their ass about it. And they'd just be like, we don't have enough people to tell you that it's not our fault because we don't have any fans. But at least Tormenta's like, it's not us. It's not us.
Right. Because I know, if Tormenta had the choice, they would not have done it for $40.
No, if they had the choice, Darren Van Tassel would give away those seats for free.
$10, show up. Yeah, $10 in a food. $10 in a food voucher.
There's $5 at a parking ticket.
$10 are a can of soup to donate to the food pantry. That's your admission.
Right.
Pack the place. Let's go.
Right.
Sit on the dirt over there. Have fun.
Yeah, but 40 is well, and that we'll talk about
students get in for free.
Well, that's what it normally is. Like the students get in for like $1 or something there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and then it goes up by 50% the day of to $60.
That's stupid.
Imagine paying $60 to go in and you have to sit in the dirt clod because everything else filled up.
That's the thing. Like, you're not even getting prime seats for $60. Like,
first come, first serve. It's like Red Rocks, Camping
out the stadium. If you're going to spend fucking $60, you might as well camp out the stadium and hope for the best.
hill. You could probably park somewhere, walk around the stadium, and stand on top of the dirt hill for free.
There's no fence.
Right.
I don't think there's a fence.
I was going to say, there probably isn't a fence. You could probably just walk into one side and they'd be like, okay, cool.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Climb a tree.
That's wild.
Climb a light pole.
I
Make up a
wanna ask you
badge.
guys
Make
this.
up a media badge.
Yes. It's not very hard. The color's teal.
I want to ask you guys this about the goal itself. Pretty bad goal on Greenville's part to give up. It just seemed like just really bad.
Yeah. I mean,
not really. Like, in the playoffs, you get the goal however you need to. But it felt like one of those where you kind of just look and think, that's how they scored.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. But really?
Yeah. It's kind of sucks.
In fairness, Greenville doesn't go to the finals for the fourth year in a row, so that's great for parity in the league.
Ta-da! I guess.
I mean, silver lining.
Okay. Before we move off of this game, let's take a moment to talk about it. And maybe we talk about this a little bit more in our end of the season podcast, which will be next week. But does Greenville feel like it's at the end of a cycle? Like, do you feel like a lot of the team either retires, move on, do parts come in? I know we've joked about Hearts moving on, but like, is there real credibility there? Like, just real quick, what do you guys think?
I think if Harks goes, that core is done. I think regardless, the attack needs to get younger. It's too old.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your attack is more or less Don Smart playing as this box-to-box 10. You're expecting him to produce. You have Jake Keegan. It's not really a young-ish attack. Like, Labovitz is young, but that's really it. Like, they need to get like a younger. They need someone that's going to start that's young, because I know they have like Evans, and I think they had the other guy. If I'm drawing a blank, but I think they just need a younger attack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think you can keep a lot of those guys. I mean, in this league this year, Richmond was like barely better than 2nd through 7th place. And 2nd through 7th place were all like right there together. So, you bring in some more attack and this team would be a lot better. And so I think if you can keep them together, it's still a really, really good team. I don't think Greenville's going to get rated for a lot of talent. Like maybe Labovitz goes just because he's proven he can score. I think he probably needs another year in League One just because he has a lot of consistency. He had a lot of garbage goals that kind of ran up his total, but you get it. Like you said, maybe you say goodbye to some of the older attackers, get some younger attackers in but that's the thing is like Harks doesn't like young players. It seems he likes signing veterans, but at the same time that can bite you in the ass because they are who they are. And especially on the attack, you'll lose a step here. You lose a step there. And in the league this year where so many teams relied on the counter, like you're too slow.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of what happened. And, maybe that would help Labovitz out too, is just having another guy back there that can just churn and burn and score some goals. But I don't think they're done. I mean, of all the teams in the league, they're like the team that I think is least likely to get rated just because they are old. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows who they are.
Like the best players, yeah, besides like Gavilanes and Labovitz.
Yeah. But so if they want to come back, they'll be back, and then they can just fill in, because that's kind of how they've been like the weird like USL 1 all-star team for the last couple of years, where they always seem to get like the best free agent signings in the league of guys who like are good, but maybe not good enough to go to championship or don't want to sit on the bench in championship and want to start in League One. So I think they'll be fine. I mean, maybe next year or the year after that, you kind of worry, but I think they're fine.
As long as Harks is there, they're fine.
Yeah, there's no need to pull the panic lever there, I think, with their roster.
Cool. We're flipping on the other side. We talk about Tormenta. This team really took off. It really seems like when Bush came into goal, once they dropped Yara, I think Yara got dropped because of injury. Once they put Bush in the goal, this has been a totally different team. Because Sterling has found his form. Doesn't seem like he's going to be around much longer.
This is the team that needs to win this year because like half these guys are going to championship.
Yeah, I was going to say like between Bush coming in goal and Sterling like getting settled in, that was like the two big things for Tormenta. Yeah. And there's a lot. I don't see Sterling staying. I don't see pretty much like Akali. No, he's not staying. Like
I mean, I can tell you right now, Bill Hart,
Ajay,
Sterling, Phelps might probably gets a look. Like, there's a couple of players on that team that you're like, hey,
they're young and they're talented and they're dynamic players. So it's like
it might be a stretch too far. But if you're Atlanta United, do you look at Sterling? You got to at least bring him into camp?
Yes. I think if you are MLS or USL Championship, you bring him in. You have to.
And if you're like in Atlanta too, I think what you could do is you could do like what Columbus did with Mikeleta this year, is you bring him into Columbus too. Torment has already shown that they'll sell guys to MLS too.
Yeah,
they sold Mikeleta to Columbus too, best player of all time. Like we've joked, they should have a statue of him outside the stadium. That conversation probably is different now after this year.
No, they should still have one.
Still have that statue.
They just might have to add more people.
Yeah, but it's like they've shown that they'll sell to MLS too. And so if you're Atlanta United or Charlotte or somebody like that, like, yeah, I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't call Torment up and throw some money at Kingsford and say, hey, we'll give you I don't know, whatever the going rate is for a guy like that. I don't know what that is, but
gotta be
bring him in. And Tormenta probably says, sure.
This is the deal we let Eboni negotiate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially if they win a championship this year, it's like, yeah, we'll take some money for some guys and just, that's the thing about Tormenta's talent strategy is they just keep finding these guys out of their academy and their two team that are really freaking good. So it's like, yeah, we'll let these guys go because we got two more guys coming up from our two team next year. So we're good.
Right. That's kind of like why it was like you can let someone like Mikeleta go and like they got money for it. But also it's like, okay, well, we have, like you said, there's someone that can step up and take that. I was surprised at that they were able to find that like replacement. It kind of was more of a replacement by committee, but it was still like, there are legit questions like, what is Tormenta going to do without their tailsman? And it's like, well, we got two of them.
Yeah. Well, and that's like the thing is Tormenta of all the teams
that they sold really funded in bringing in these guys.
Yeah.
And that's the thing for Tormenta is they get paid for their best players, which is more than everybody else in the league can say.
Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely right. So we got Tormenta going into the finals. They're hosting. And then on the flip side, earlier on that last Saturday, the game that made me say is always effing Chattanooga. Richmond 0, Chattanooga 1. Rafa Michigan scores in the 86th minute.
If we're talking about goals that are like, how the hell did they go in? That's the goal. That's like, how the hell did that? How did you guys let that go in?
I
the XG for it was like 0.05.
It's very reminiscent of last year's game against Tucson, where Richmond controlled the entire game, and then in like an 85th, 86th minute, literally both goals are separated by a minute. It was a funny thing. It's like a what the fuck moment. Where did this come from? And Rich was out of the playoffs.
Yeah, I was watching the game and I was like, there's no way he scored that, but they were celebrating. It's like, what?
Dude, I watched it from the press box, and as soon as he cut in, I was like, this is going in. You can just tell the way how Rafa cut inside, that ball's curling, and you see it like Akira. It's hard to see it on the camera angle, but from where I'm watching it, Akira leans to his left and then just back to his right to try to like throw an arm out there for it. And he totally, like, he just misses it. I mean, he's not saving it anyway, but that's a hell of a goal.
Well, on the plus side, that's another one of those guys where it's like, well, we won't have to worry about him next year.
Yeah.
You would think.
He gone. But let's start at the beginning of this game. We talked about it, so I'm gonna have a therapy session with you guys. I came out of this game with a couple of questions about Darren. One, the lack of substitutions was concerning to me.
I was going to mention that.
Yeah, only the one sub. And when we asked Darren in the post game, he mentioned how he was kind of like, I want to leave the guys on there that I trusted. Now, if you go look at the bench, there's no one really that he could have thrown on that offensively that you felt like would have changed the game. Yes, he could have took Zaka off for Ani and then pushed Dakota up into 6. All right, cool. The main one that I was concerned, I was baffled at is Stu Ritchie didn't come on for Simon Fitch in the 70th minute. This is before the goal even happens. It just feels like if you're going for crosses, why not bring in the guy that has 5 assists to his name for those crosses, you know? And then the 9th minute where the goal doesn't happen. I mean, where the penalty kick doesn't happen. Yeah. That's the one where I'm just like, if there's any time to have instant replay is right now.
That
like, if we just get a tablet and just have it on the sideline, just the ref to go back and just watch it.
But that's one of those calls where even without replay, you would think that's given as a pen.
Yeah.
Even like, I'm not even going to go into like the replay aspect. I'm not going to go into VAR. That's just one of those where the naked eye, you look and you say that is a penalty.
And look, I'm not trying to be like blaming the refs or anything like, because the refs are who they are. They have the instruments that they have. And then when Trezagi went in and the goalkeeper, the ref is already running back because he thinking the goalkeeper has it in his hand.
Ref turned away. The ref's like,
Right. And then he turns back around and see the assistant. Yeah. And then he sees Emmy on the ground and he sees with the goalkeeper with his legs stretched out. And I'm saying that I'm like, pen. And no. It just feels like that sliding doors moment was like, not saying Richmond wins this game with that penalty kick. Not saying Richmond scores it. But if that penalty is given and we score in the 9th minute, this game looks totally different.
Yeah. Well, and this is one of those games, too, where I've got a buddy who comes over just to hang out because he lives in the neighborhood. And he knows, like, if he comes over on Saturday night, like, we're going to watch soccer. Does he like soccer? No. He's watched a little bit of it. But even he was like, that's a PK, right? It's like, I mean, you'd think. He's like, how's that not a PK? It's like, I can't tell you, Todd. I have no clue. But that was rough.
Yeah, man.
Like I said, that is one that you think is given. Like, based off of what the league has done, that you give that. And then you discuss it with the assistant ref, with whoever. And then maybe you kind of have that, okay, no, it's not. That's what I'm saying. Like, that would have been one where you call it and you have the discussion.
Between the three of them down there, how did nobody see that? And, be like,
that's what confuses me. Like, that's why I'm like, even if you don't have VAR, you had 3 refs, and if sure one may have turned around, you still have others surrounding it. Like, if I was Darren and I was Richmond, I would have been throwing a fit. I'm going full on South Africa and like in the CAF qualifying. I'm throwing a protest. I'm going to the Federation. I'm throwing a fit. I'm tweeting obscenities. I'm going off. Like, I'm going down as a sore loser, damn it.
Dude, I want you to know, man, it was so crazy just that could happen. But given that happened, Richard has another chance. The free kick, of which they say Jalen was off, but when you go back and look at the replay, it's not off. And then they say the ball goes over the line, but it's kind of like one of them when it goes on, but the goalkeeper grabs it and kind of pulls it forward. Kind of what Nuhu did last year in the final. But they said, like, and the thing is, they initially go for goal, and then the center ref was like, oh, no, he's offside. And they were just like, all right, that's a second chance. And then we have the red card that happens in the 38th minute, which was a red card. Like, he took a nasty gash out of Ethan's leg. And then I saw the discourse on Twitter given when once Michigan scored about, well, how Richmond didn't score with a man up for 70, 60-ish minutes. And I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, 1, people don't know how Richmond play. 2, people don't know how Chattanooga play. 3, people don't understand the one thing to do to beat Richmond is literally take the space on the wings and it played all into Chattanooga's hands because you're asking Richmond, a team that capitalizes on getting in behind that long ball to Bolaños and Bentley, and they do these low cutbacks to Terzaghi and Ethan Bryan and Neil Villiams who flood the box. You're literally playing into Chattanooga's hands because Navarro's a great center back. Mill is a great center back, and they're, 6'3", 6'2"? So we're doing all these high up crosses, and they just cleared it out because you don't have anyone in the box that is taller than 6 feet. And it's just like, hey, Eb, how are you, buddy?
Hi.
I'm going through therapy right now. So we go through all of this, and I'm just like, this literally played into Chattanooga's hands. If there's any team that can survive going down a man and still having this potent-ass attack, it's Chattanooga, because what Chattanooga does best is blitzkrieg the hell out of you and counterattack you with pace.
All I will say is both are true. It should have been a penalty, and that game should have been 1-0, potentially as early as the 8th minute, or the offside. And Richmond should have taken advantage of it, but also knowing we've seen it. Omaha was doing this left and right. When they go down a man, they reduce the space that they're going to allow to get exploited, and then are able to go with a counter and a goal. Like we saw Omaha do it countless times. So it's not. So I think both can be true. Richmond should have scored, but we've also seen teams go down a man, reduce more of the space, and take advantage and go on a counter and score.
But see, I don't think Richmond should have scored just because of the fact of, like,
I still think with the talent that you have in the attacking players, you would think with the players like Terzaghi and Bolaños, like if you have players like that, they can make something out of nothing.
Yeah, but it's all about where those opportunities come from. You know, if I'm putting Bolaños, Ethan out on the wings, and telling them to create, and Chattanooga's already reducing the space, nothing's going to happen. This Richmond team doesn't take shots outside of the box in front of the 18-yard box like that. That's not their MO. You know, like they don't do that enough. Like maybe you have I'd probably say out of all the goals we score a year, I'll be surprised if maybe 6 of them are from outside the box, outside of 18. And those are the kind of shots you needed to take to make Chattanooga come forward. Because when you had the one shot with Zaka, it seemed as if oh snap, Chattanooga was like, oh snap, we can't let him get super open. So let's reduce the space even more. I'm not frustrated. I'm not disappointed. I'm just like,
you're not?
Richmond had 6 goals outside the box this year.
Oh, see. What I said? I said 6, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I felt like it.
Yes, out of the 54 goals, 6 were outside the box.
Yeah, I'm just like, it's fucking Chattanooga. It's. I feel like a Buffalo Bills fans by the time of the 3rd Super Bowl, where you're just like, here we go again.
Or a Pacers fan with the Bulls.
Yeah. Like this is the second time in 3 years my season has ended because of Chattanooga. And I step on my soapbox now. I'll let y'all talk about the game.
I don't know what more there is to talk about. I feel like the 3 big moments were the blown missed call on the penalty, the questionable offside, and Rafa Menzian getting that ridiculous goal that you say, how the fuck did he score that?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That was a beautiful ass goal. That shit was nice.
Like that's all he does. That's all that team does is score. How the fuck did they score that?
They've done that over the whole year, dog. Like
instead of that devil magic of scoring late and winning late, they just decided we're just gonna get bangers only.
And look, man, we're gonna talk about the season awards though. But what Weekly has done with this team on the field and has freed this team up, and I'm impressed, man. I'm impressed because that team looked dead in the water. What was around late June, early July?
Something like that.
Yeah, that team looked dead in the water. And they look like a totally different team now. So
I wonder what happened.
What? What?
I was gonna say he gives me Eden Terzic over at Dortmund vibes, where it's like he comes in, he's an interim, he's the guy that everyone loves, players want to play for him. He does well as an interim, wins, but then once he gets the permanent role, that's when it falls apart.
Yeah.
Because that's just not like. I feel like he is a great. He comes in and makes the vibes good in the short term while you find a new coach.
Can we agree that? Because I think Oblate is coming back.
No.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, why would you not just do it? So let's just say that he's like completely as pure as the innocent as the freshly driven snow. Your new guy just took you to the championship game. This other guy has all this crap around him. You think you'd just be like, yeah, he's gone. Here's our guy. Or we're going to like find a different guy. But you haven't said shit about shit. Like not even like hey, we've concluded our investigation and he's good. You just haven't said anything. Like this, it's so weird.
I mean, at this point, it would be more of a distraction to put like that's why I wouldn't be surprised that as soon as it gets to Monday, that's when the announcement drops.
Mm-hmm. But it's so weird that there's just been nothing from their camp about it while they're having the biggest year of their program history. And it happened after the guy that got suspended. You think you'd just be like, well, peace up, A-Town down. See you later, Jimmy.
And maybe he has a contract that runs out and they're just like, we're not redoing it. Like that could be a possibility as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know like how long he had the contract.
Yeah, I can't see them. I can't see them bringing back. I can't. I just can't. Especially now. We'll talk about it too. The CBA that just came into play. Like, if Chattanooga did that, and if I'm any player that's a free agent or like looking to come to League One, I'm telling my players like, "Yo, don't go to Chattanooga."
But they're the only team that would do a move like that. Maybe Charlotte. Maybe
throw like a stupid amount of money at you too.
Right, but that's not. They're the only team. Other than maybe Charlotte, that would say fuck the PR. This is our guy. Like they're like.
I mean, yeah, that's true. But even like the record this year shows you, like he wasn't that guy.
Only if they lose. I think this is the only possibility if they don't win the final. If they win the final, there's no way they can bring it back.
Yes, they can.
If they win the final,
they're Chattanooga.
Oh,
They
they
don't give a
absolutely
fuck.
can.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, yo. This really much feels like the Boston Celtics. Like when they suspended their coach, it was like, yeah, we'll bring you back at the end of the year. But it's like, no, you're not.
but go
Like,
ahead and interview for this
no.
other job.
Yeah, like no, like just cut ties. I don't know.
I honestly think as soon as Monday happens, we're gonna get something. Maybe Tuesday.
Okay. I don't know. It just feels very. It already feels weird, but I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. We'll see.
Kyle the optimist.
Well, that was his coach of the year, so he's
Kyle
going all in on it.
Hey,
Kyle the optimist, expecting them to do the absolute bare minimum.
I'm just saying.
Kyle is riding with this. He put money on Galinger as being the Golden Boot winner and Oblate being the coach of the year.
Only one of those looked ridiculous.
Which, by the way, I just want to say, I was the only one that was right. Well, technically, I was right on one. My other guy didn't get it because my coach won coach of the year, which I was not expecting. Biggest shocker of the year. We'll get into the awards right now. Starting off with goalkeeper of the year, Chip. Your boy, Rashad Nuhu, wins his coveted goalkeeper of the year award, which feels good, right?
I mean, how could he not? He was the first team keeper and the Golden Glove winner. Like, at least last year, it was like, well, Nuhu won the Golden Glove and Akira won first team. So we could make some arguments here or there. But like we talked about last week, the goalkeeper of the year is kind of a dumb award when you have the first team keeper. So, like, it wasn't super shocking. Well-deserved, obviously. I mean, I think Nuhu, with how Omaha played when he was out, it definitely showed how important he was to a team. They went from a team that looked like it was on the cusp of winning the league, the regular season for the league, to a team that barely made the playoffs. So, big ups for Nuhu. It'll be interesting to see what happens with him this offseason. Obviously, I think, he doesn't really have a lot left to prove in League One. And while I would love him to stay in Omaha because he's awesome, he's definitely a guy that probably deserves a chance to get some looks from some champions clubs or some clubs somewhere else, because he's just done literally everything he can in Omaha, and that's great and that's awesome. And he's, one of the faces of the league, and he deserves that chance, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It was his award to win. It kind of felt like this is the award they meant to award him last year, but they had to give Akira the award last year because they missed out on 2020.
But even then, I don't think that Nuhu ran away with it last year. I mean, Omaha had such a strong defense in 2021. I think you made this point until you were red in the face that Akira had double the number of saves that Nuhu had.
Yeah, that man still.
And so it was well, yeah, he statistically was the best keeper in saves percentage, but he also faced half the shots of Akira. So who's the better keeper? Because one of them kept a lot more shots out of the goal than the other one did.
Yeah,
as a percentage.
Yep. Akira finished second in that one, and I think Richardson finished third. Not bad. But we move on to Defender of the Year with Arthur Rogers winning that award. Guys, this seems like the most weirdest award because only once has a true defender won this award. The other times this award was awarded, Connor Antley, he won it because he was a wingback that had, 5 goals in 2019? Damian Villader was literally a winger playing fullback and had the most assists in the league. Arthur Rogers was a winger playing fullback who had the second most assists in the league. Brandon Fricky, the only true defensive player to win this award. Is Defensive Player of the Year even an award for defensive players? Because it doesn't seem like it.
No,
I think
it's can your defender provide an attack? In when they're showing the highlight videos, not one thing was I think Lindsay Fearson had tweeted it, no highlights were defending.
Who is the lovely girlfriend of Jalen Crosby.
I was gonna say there might be some bias.
Hey. We're fine
but
with
I
that
don't
bias.
blame her. You stand up for your man.
I saw that comment. That was hilarious because it's none of that was defending. It was all him scoring goals or assists.
And I agree. I guess if I'm thinking Defender of the Year, I'm thinking it should not be based off of goals, assists, whatever. It should be, did you win a high amount of duels? Were you getting, tackles, duels, clearances, blocks, actual defending?
Yeah. I know a lot of the Omaha camp was thinking that it was complete robbery that Dalton Knudsen didn't get nominated or win, which he's a good defender, but I think that's a bit of a stretch. But it's also we know what these league awards are. We know what the all league teams are. It's who can score. And it's dumb and it's silly, but that's what they do with all of these awards. And so to expect them to not do that at the end of the year is kind of foolish.
Yeah, you're right. Jalen finished second, and Daniel Navarro of Chattanooga finished third in that race. And then yesterday we had Young Player of the Year award come out to my boy Ethan Bryant, the young GOAT. I did say this: if he stays in this league next year, he will be an MVP candidate. I'm willing to stand on that already. But what do we think about this award, y'all?
I didn't have too much of an argument. I feel like the young players kind of there's no, and especially now that there's not really two teams, it's kind of I have no big. I'm surprised it wasn't Cease. I'm surprised it wasn't Omar Cease, but I have no problem with. I would have had no problem with any of them winning.
I would have. Omar Cease ain't it?
Yeah, none of them were controversial or anything, but it's nice to see that it isn't 3 guys from MLS2 teams that you haven't heard of,
right?
Because no one watches those guys play because they all sucked.
So
all
guys,
okay. Hey, I was gonna say the first 2 years of that award were legit, and then last year was just whatever.
Yeah, I can't remember who was in the running of last year, but the guys who won this award, 2019 was Arturo Rodriguez. We see what he's done. Chris Brady for Madison, now the Chicago Fire. Is he going to be the starting goalkeeper next year with Selena leaving? Yeah. Noah Allen, he's playing with Inter Miami. So Ethan Bryant, I've already said it. I think this Richmond team is getting gutted I'll be shocked if we don't have 6 new starters next year. Wouldn't surprise me. But Ethan Bryant, he's good. He's really good. And he's really had a real uptick in form over the last 2 months.
Is he Richmond's player or is he still a loanee from San Antonio?
He is 100% ours.
Okay.
So his loan deal ended last year, and we signed him on a free.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Someone was robbed. But and then we have probably the one that surprised me the most today when I was like, oh snap, they gave him this award. Oh, hold on. I ain't skipping one. Am I not?
I was gonna say we are skipping one.
Yeah, I'm skipping one. My fault.
They just made it this year.
Right. The new award, Comeback Player of the Year. Aiden Billhart wins this award. He is the first ever winner of this award. It seemed like it's kind of fair. I'm not gonna lie. Didn't realize he blew out his leg last year.
I would have guessed that. So,
what I wondered too, what like the criteria too, because Bolaños was up for that as well, wasn't he?
No,
it was Nate Schultz, Daniel Navarro,
okay,
and Bill Hart.
What was the other one Bolaños was up for?
MVP.
Yeah, I mean
MVP.
Oh, yes,
which will get announced tomorrow.
Yeah.
So should we guess?
I mean, if you had a season-ending injury last year and you come back and play really well, yeah, that seems like a good reason to give someone a comeback player of the year.
Yeah, that feels like that is meeting the criteria.
Yeah. To me, he was the most important player on that team, man, because Homeboy's kind of good. Really good. Really good. I think he's going to be the X factor in the final. So the award that came out today was Coach of the Year, which we had Darren Sawatsky win this award. We had Ian Cameron in the running, and we also had Jimmy Weekly in the running as well. Guys, did USL League One get this one right? Me personally, yes. But me covering the league,
no. Like, he's the third choice. He was the third best pick in that category.
Whoa. Second. If we're talking regular season, second.
No.
Yes!
Well, this is like last year when it was, and I love Jay Mims because last year I was in a similar position where Jay Mims should not have won Coach of the Year last year. It should have been Perlman. They were like dead last in the league. They got up to fourth. They got up to fourth place, made it to the semifinals. Like, that should have been the Coach of the Year, not the guy who brought back all of the second place team and 2 of the best free agents in the league and then won. That's great, but that's not like Coach of the Year. And I think it's the same thing here where Darren brought back most of the same team that finished 5th last year. They finished first. Ian Cameron's team, especially like if we're counting what they did in the playoffs, they made the final. Like, they were not a playoff team last year. They were the worst independent team that wasn't North Carolina FC last year. Rebuilt their entire roster in the offseason, which was him that did that, and made the finals. And then Chattanooga, you have Weekly, who took over Chattanooga, and I think they were 9th when Obleda went on suspension, and now they're in the finals. So, like, both of those guys are guys that had something bad happen and were able to turn it around while Richmond had something really, really good still and just kept it really, really good.
I'm just going to say he probably was going to get it because it always goes to the team that finishes first. That's literally what it's been. Yeah. If you finish first, you were winning Coach of the Year. Jay finished first last year, got first place. Probably didn't deserve it. John Harkes got first place in 2020, got Coach of the Year. Eric Quill got first place, got Coach of the Year. If you finish first, you're going to get the award.
Yeah. And look, I'm not disparaging my coaches at all. He did a fantastic job.
Oh, yeah, he's a great coach. Like, there's no doubt about it.
That boy down in South Georgia, what's done down there, I would have been fine with a Coach of the Year. We could have split this. I would have been fine with it.
Right. I mean, I think Ian Cameron would have won it, there would have been no like complaints from like anybody.
No. When it came through and they were like Sawaski won it, I was like, because in my head, I was like, all right, Tormenta's in the final. Darren's out. I'm like, the league is going to give this to Ian Cameron.
But this award is regular season base.
Yeah.
Which is true. True.
So that's also what we have to factor in. It is is based on the regular season.
Yeah. No.
I don't know. The ultimate question I'm asking, though, and I already tweeted it, can you really be the coach of the year if you didn't win the Henny Derby and you're considered an underdog?
Yes.
I'm gonna let the people on Twitter decide.
I'm gonna let my goddamn self decide. Yes. Yes. So the award we got left is the MVP that will be awarded Friday. We have Emiliano Terzaghi, Jonathan Bolaños, Arthur Rogers up for the award. I'm fully 99.9% confident it's going to go to Jonathan Bolaños, and it will be the last time I ever see him in person ever again because he's going to leave to go to higher pastures.
I'm slightly surprised that Rogers was the third finalist.
Sir,
yeah,
he's a fullback with the second most assists. You just gave the explanation of why this league does what it does.
I know. But I'm surprised it wasn't Sterling. I'm legitimately surprised it wasn't Sterling.
Mm-hmm. Or even dumber, like they did McLaughlin
how to put him in there
because he had 17 goals. Because that's 100% something the league would do too. Well, it's the three guys with the most goals, and then we'll go to the guy with the most goals because that's what we do.
We don't watch the league. They should give it to us. Let us do the voting. You know what, guys? Next week on the End of Season podcast, we're going to do this. We're going to give our own awards. We're going to have an award show. We're going to somewhat dress up, have a bunch of drinks, and give out awards.
I was going to say, are we dressing up? I mean, I'll do it, but...
Yeah, let's dress up. Let's make it fancy.
Put a tie on at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think... I don't know. I think Rodgers, though, is one of the best players in the league, but it's weird that he's up for MVP, especially when they didn't make the playoffs.
Right. It kind of felt like it's almost like Aaron Malloy last year.
Well, right. But again, it's like, I don't know if he's as good as Aaron Malloy was.
No, he's not.
Hey, Aaron Malloy showed how good he was this year.
I was going to say, no, he's not.
Right. I mean, I think I know we kind of hemmed and hawed last year at Aaron Malloy in there because of how bad Madison was, but it's like, in retrospect, maybe he should have been MVP.
Let me ask you guys this:
he was the best player. He was the best.
Well,
player.
it was like
the best player to come out of League One.
No,
not yet.
If you don't count like all the MLS2 guys, sure.
But I'm saying, what other MLS2 guys are we counting? Because
Pepe, Arturo Rodriguez, Damas.
Yeah.
Like the random,
I
the random ass guys.
Yeah, Damas might be one.
Yeah, the random ass guys.
Phoenix has been disappointing.
Yeah, but like the random
because of Phoenix.
Pepe. I mean, if Pepe gets going anywhere else in Europe, he will be considered. But I guess my thought process.
But he's also playing in Europe and not playing for Memphis. Like where do you think you'd rather play?
I mean, no, that's true. But I don't consider
or Memphis for $65,000 a year. He's getting a lot more money over in Europe.
I was gonna say, I mean, living in Memphis would be pretty dope.
Yeah, but also the thing about like Pepe's the weird argument always because it's always like, well, he never really played in League One. Like he played a handful of games, then went to Dallas,
season,
and then he came back for the playoffs, and that was it.
We're not talking about the playoffs.
Anyway. Yeah, but like, Malloy literally was the best player of probably a bad Madison team. Was what I think he was in the second team last year or the first team.
The first.
He was first team.
Yeah, first team last year, MVP. If it goes to USL Championship and does the same. Like,
I would probably say if Joey Gallardo had kicked on down in Mexico, he'd be my other contender from a non-MLS2 team.
Yeah.
If Joey Gallardo had kicked on.
And even then, you could say Liotti too, because Liotti, he played for DC United this year for a few games. He didn't stick, but he played.
Yeah, but I don't. Was his League One career like that? I'm trying to remember. Where did he play at again? Tormenta.
Yeah, and he was Brian's like big pick, and he broke Brian's heart when he didn't go to Greenville, and then he went to Loudon, which that's the DC2 team, so it was kind of one of those weird they were super short guys, so he went up.
It kind of just makes you. It kind of makes you feel like what's his name that went to Charleston, then came back to NCFC.
Shaq Adams.
Yeah, it kind of makes you feel like Shaq Adams in a sense, whereas it's more there to be desired because you know what he can do. He just hasn't. I always had this feeling about Alex Bruce, 2019. I thought Alex Bruce was going to be the next big striker in League One. I thought he was going to be the guy, and this guy has played on the most teams in USL League One, and still hasn't broken through.
And especially considering if he couldn't break through in this Omaha team that needed attacking, if they needed an attacker.
Right. Because he started off with Lansing, then goes to North Texas, and then goes to Union Omaha. And you can't break through on this Union Omaha team with this attack?
I do have two people that could end up being, and it's weird because one of them didn't really have a great USL League One career, and the other one did. But Marco Michelota and Noah Fusan. If they can get up to the main team for Columbus and ball out.
Yeah, Micheletto might have a thing.
Micheletto probably would have a strong case especially because he was that good in League One. Noah Fusan, he had promise, he had the skill, it just didn't translate in Madison. But he's young enough and he played well enough on Columbus too, that if he breaks through on Columbus, it goes from there. Then you're having that, it's weird because someone like Pepe or potentially Noah Fusan or even JT, where it's not like they were killing it in USL League One, but then go on and kick into high gear somewhere else.
Okay, so when we would say Malloy, right? If we went with a top five, Malloy's on that list. Micheletto. Would you throw out Tero or no?
Are we counting MLS2 guys? I don't know if you do.
I'll take MLS2 guys off. We're talking strictly independent.
Then I think you got to throw Dami on there because Dami's been.
I was going to say Greg Hurst because he played well in Phoenix, it seemed like, this year.
I think Dami has had the best season of all the Omaha guys that went up.
Okay, yeah. So, Beloy, Micheletto, Hurst, Dami.
Phil Brino.
Aquay?
See, Aquay got that weird tenure that allowed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are we gonna continue?
And you got the end of 2020 where he barely paid at Richmond.
I just feel like we're going with some Phil Brino erasure here.
I can't go with Phil because
they're in the Eastern Conference Finals.
They are. Okay,
He's their starting goalkeeper for the best team in the East.
I'm not dismissing that.
He ain't coming back to Madison.
You have to look at the
no, we got to find another keeper.
Well, that just shows how shit Madison's defense was this year.
But it's weird because it's a lot of he was making.
Which it wasn't that shit.
Yeah,
but it was weird because he was making the
also
mistakes.
Giving up dumbass goals.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he gave us some stupid goals, and then it was crazy because the guy they traded him for looked like he was the solution for Madison's problem, and he fell off a cliff too. And Phil Brino is the fan favorite Tampa Bay goalkeeper, and he ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Maybe a change of scenery is what both needed.
Dude's brushing up on some Cuban and learning how to make a Cubano coffee.
Probably so.
Phil has already hit a Publix and is living life.
So we're on 4. We need one more.
Charlie
I feel
Dennis?
like there's someone there that we're not thinking about. Who?
Charlie Dennis.
I'll give you Charlie because you had the good 2019 Tormenta. He was the vocal point of that Tucson team, and then the Oakland team. He was, I would say, a top 3 player.
He was solid.
Yeah.
Do we put Brady on there?
Who?
Chris Brady.
I know there's someone else that we're blatantly missing, and it's going to be awkward when we realize it.
Yeah,
but...
when we tweet it out, and some like
does that
random
count?
Madison fans like, how'd you miss Joe Schmo? And it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, well, the thing about Chris Brady is once he left Madison, there was like a year where you didn't hear from him.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he's still going to be a starting, which again, too, like, I don't even think you count that though, because Madison had that other guy too from Minnesota United that came down, didn't do shit for
Dwayne
shit.
St. Clair.
Dane St. Clair.
He didn't do shit for Madison, and then all of a sudden he's a starter for Minnesota. So it's like, I don't even think.
Well, that was weird. Well, that's also a weird one because Madison had 3 really good keepers, and the problem was Dane was 3rd out of the 3.
Yeah.
So once again, we got Micheletto.
I'm going to say probably done for the 5th one.
All right, so we got Micheletto, Malloy, Charlie Dennis, Greg Hurst, Damian Villanueva are the 5 best talents to come out of USL League One.
That are not affiliated with an MLS team.
Yes, we're not affiliated with MLS team sides.
Well, yes. Not affiliated with an MLS team while they were in League One.
There we go. That's how you clean it up, Chip.
Yeah, I mean that sounds pretty good to me. I mean, I guess I don't know. How is the Greenville guy who went to like Cyprus or something? How's he doing?
It's Cyprus.
I mean, you're true.
Fucking Cyprus.
That's true. He's in. I don't even think he's in Cyprus. He's in Malta.
Yeah,
which is like
fucking Malta.
11 appearances and 3 goals is how he's doing. If this is up to date, which I don't know if it is.
All right. Maybe that's something we can do kind of in the off season. Since we're coming up on the 5-year anniversary of USL League One, maybe we could do our greatest 5 or greatest team within the 5 years, whatever.
Be some great off-season hashtag content.
Well, that's what the USL's 5-a-side was. 7-a-side.
Yeah. God, that shit was fucking
horrible. That article.
God. All right, guys, let's talk about the final. So we got the final. It's going to be Tormenta versus Chattanooga. Tip your hats to both teams for on the field. I think Twitter will tell you who they're rooting for. But in the fairness of both teams, let's break down both teams. What are we expecting from this game? How do we think this game is going to play out? Who's going to be the X factors? How excited are you for this final? Who wants to start? Abby, you alive? Are you there?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll start. Okay, so for the final, I'm definitely going Tormenta. I hope to be there. Trying to make it happen.
Hashtag content.
Which you told me that earlier. I was really thinking about going down. But then it's like, well, I'm going to spend $400 on this plane ticket. And it's like, I could hang out with like their front office team, but that's also kind of weird because I was imagining a scenario that they won and some like random guy on Tormenta's like, so who are you? How long have you been a fan? It's like, well, I'm from Omaha. Oh, what are you doing down here? It's like, so I like the Birds tweets on Twitter. And so I bought a ticket and now I'm here.
It's perfect.
Oh, okay.
And Tormenta front office would treat us like royalty.
Oh, they're great. I love the Tormenta. When I went down to Savannah last year, they picked up the bar tab, which included our lunch on it. I was like, you didn't need to do that. But yeah, they're great folks down there. But something dumb's going to happen. But I got to say, I think Tormenta is going to win. Chattanooga's had some crazy ass goals, but not in like the good way. It's like, how did that go in? That shouldn't have gone in. Like, that's weird that went in. Tormenta seems to be the better team. They're going to be at home. I'm sure those seats come with caviar and champagne, so everyone's going to be real fired up. I don't know. It just Chattanooga is like, I don't know how they're in the final watching those games. Like if you edited the goals out for Chattanooga and just like watch both their games, I don't know how you would say that they made the finals.
That's the playoffs. That's playoffs for you.
Yeah. But like Tormenta, like you watch their games, it's like, it makes sense that they're here.
Well, okay, with Chattanooga, we've always said they have the attacking talent. Like we have never questioned the attacking talent that Chattanooga had. It was, can they keep their head together?
Can I just point out this point? And it's kind of funny to me, maybe because like I'm slowly depressed, but Chattanooga has knocked out both teams who podcasters are on this podcast right now that made jokes about their coach having an OnlyFans. I mean, a cash app. Like, they are like on some weird ass revenge tour where the players don't know what they're doing, but the coach is like, "You will execute my plan with mercy."
Without mercy, yeah.
Can't get knocked out of the playoffs
Well,
if you don't make it.
What type of content? What type of content would it be if we found out that Jimmy Weekly had an OnlyFans?
Oh my god!
Son. What do you think he's selling? You think he's selling feet pics or dick pics? What do you think he's selling?
Feet.
Feet, yeah, I guess, yeah.
Those feet got to be crusty as a motherfucker. He
Well, like,
old and white.
The
This
sock
look like
one,
turtle shells.
like the soccer player feet in general are just like really gross.
Shit's got to be crusty.
Like, yeah, I mean, regardless, this is making my stomach turn a bit, but that'd be really funny. But you know, again, like that is funny that we talk so much shit on him, and here he is in the final.
Right. There he is.
So I think the note to the Tormenta fans is don't make jokes about the Chattanooga coach being horny, and you'll win. But if you do like a cash app,
it's not that he was being horny. He was being horny on Maine.
Yes.
And that's
Publicly.
the problem.
He was being horny in a public forum.
This man was liking at a high rate, a high clip. There was like 5 likes an hour. Like, goddamn, son, slow down.
And no one would, and it would have continued had we not called it out.
It would have.
Oh my god.
Which, imagine the scene. It would have almost been funnier if we just sat on that until the final. Obviously, we didn't know they were going to make it, but it would have been even funnier to wait till the final to be like, "Hey, Jimmy, by the way, we can see what your likes are." But
As soon as he had gotten the job permanently, we just dropped that.
Oh my. Then she's supposed to go decide the contract. So, sir, we see here that you like titties.
yeah.
All kinds of titties.
What's this clause about mandatory social media training in my contract? Is that standard? It's like, well,
Because you're horny or fucking Maine, sir.
have you checked your Twitter mentions recently?
Have we considered that maybe being horny on Maine is the key to success in life?
Maybe.
Hey, I'm a successful ass person.
Ooh.
It works.
I'm just saying, like, clearly being horny on Maine is working.
I was kind of
Ooh.
hoping he won Coach of the Year because I was thinking about putting that like horny little Shinu Ibu dog head on his face for the graphic.
Can I ask you guys this? I'm probably going to talk about the game, but when this broke out about weekly, how many of y'all go search your head coach's Twitter or social media to be like, I pray to God nothing like this is on there?
I don't even know if my coach has a Twitter.
Yeah, J-Mims doesn't have social media, which is like, thank God. Thank God.
Swazi has it. And I was like, Swazi, you bet not. But he barely talks on there. So I'm like, all right, we're good.
Well, honestly, with how like bad Omaha fans have been this year on Twitter, I'm really glad J-Mims doesn't have social media. In the offseason this year, they literally had him like riding an exercise bike, reading mean tweets about his offseason.
I'm not going to lie. That was hilarious.
And he's just like, what?
That was hilarious ass content. All right, let's get back to the game. I'm sorry. Once again, is me always distracting the show? The show can be done in 40 minutes, but I make it an hour 30. Chattanooga's defense holding up against Tormenta's attack. How do we think that's going to play out? Because it really seems like this front trio of Bill Hart, Sterling, and Ajay is going to give Chattanooga's defense fits.
I mean, we thought that Bolaños, Terzaghi, and Richmond would give them fits, and they withstood that. So
once again, space.
But even before the red card, like I'm just saying, like they still did it. They still did it, which is impressive.
They did. I'm not taking anything away from them, but you're
so
not really
that's where I'm kind of like, if they can do it against Tormenta, like they did against Richmond, they can do it against Tormenta.
This is True.
I'm more curious on what are Phelps and Dangler going to do with Galindrez, with Menzigan if he comes in, with Chattanooga's attack. Because I think that's going to be the key battle. Because I don't think Chattanooga is going to be trying to make crosses in. They're probably going to take more shots outside the box. They're probably going to avoid. And if they're going to do crosses, it's going to be low crosses.
Yeah, that's true.
Because why the fuck would you do a cross in the air with two dudes that are like over 6 foot?
I really wouldn't know. All right.
So does this game go to overtime?
Yes.
Well, Chattanooga probably so.
But do we
No.
want it to?
No.
Yes,
No.
I want chaos. I want this game to be with 9 men. I want 4 red cards. Someone to get punched in the nuts. I want a stadium invasion.
PKs.
Yeah. Give me goalkeeper, keep PKs.
That would be fun. Especially because it's on ESPN too. It would just be crazy if like
shithousery.
Well, I will say this.
Off and taking a shirt off. I want Weekly to be like OnlyFans rocks, bitch, and then get sent off.
The only way I would want it to go into overtime is if one team gets a equalizing goal just in the last kick, like the last kick of the game. And like, and I'm picturing like when Ray Allen hit that 3 in the NBA Finals, and like they've already brought out the trophy. They're already got like they have the champagne on ice, like ready to go in the locker room. They're taping that shit up, and then they got to take it all down. I want that chaos.
Boring as 120 minutes.
Well, I was gonna say,
stand in the center circle and just stare at each other.
With how exciting this year's been for games, like the league's generally been like crazy and unpredictable, and no one knows what's going to happen week to week. How ironic would it be if for the final on ESPN2, it was just like the most boring, predictable game ever, and it was just like, well, that's the League One final.
I want this game to be delayed, weather delayed 3 times. I want
absolutely not. No.
It's a school night.
I want this game to take place on Tuesday afternoon at 3 p.m. with nobody there. I
don't the fucking Toronto FC2 nonsense is this?
You damn skippy. In honor
of
them. Matt made a joke online that he wanted it to get COVIDed so Richmond would win, which I don't think it works that way.
It does. 100%
does it?
You can't give a winner if it gets COVIDed.
I think they would just void it. I think that no one would win the title.
Which is fine with me.
That's not how that works.
I'm pretty sure if COVID was... Let's be real. Chattanooga's going to lie about their COVID numbers.
Yeah,
you think Chattanooga comes honest with COVID?
The Chattanooga players are going to like spit on a pixie stick and be like, here's my test. It's blue. What?
Congrats.
Why is this thing attracting flies?
Why is it so flimsy? Hey, you asking the wrong questions, dog. You want my coach's cash out?
Sir, this is a pregnancy test. What are you doing with this? This is not a COVID test.
It's negative.
You order your main. You just get what you get. You get what you get. The other question we got to talk about is Chattanooga got a red card in the last game. So who's going to be the starter? I mean, it's going to be Galindrez, I'm assuming, right? Or do you think they be smart and put Menzigan as the striker as a false start?
I feel like this whole Menzigan super sub thing is working, so they're not going to fuck with that.
Well, I mean, the same thing works for Galindrez as a super sub.
Yeah, but he's going to be pissed off and tweet. If they don't win and he was coming off the bench, he's going to tweet something about it.
Oh, I mean, he already tweeted last game about it. Like, man has itchy Twitter fingers.
Oh, what did he say?
That's my golden boot winner pick.
What did he say?
Oh, just the normal, they don't trust me. They don't, I have to find, it's just generic, like something I would expect like a high school sophomore to tweet when they don't get it.
Yeah, that man is not staying for next year. That man is gone.
No, it'll be
me, sir. Your GPA is like barely eligible for you to play. We can't start you, dog.
Yeah, I think Galindris will start just because I feel like the Menskid super sub has worked the last 2 games. So why?
Well, I mean, someone has to start, and I don't see him going like completely crazy with it.
Yeah.
Oh man, he like tweets a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. He be out there tweeting. This man tweeted his own promo video, which is actually kind of fire.
You got to do that. You got to do that.
Yeah.
That's a hustle.
Yeah.
Shoot your shot.
James kind of fire. I got Tormenta, man. It is not. Look, it's no slight to Chattanooga. It just feels like this is kind of Chattanooga. I mean, Tormenta title to win, like with the W team, the new stadium.
It's either going to be a Tormenta win in the 90 minutes or Chattanooga on penalties.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. Regardless of who wins, both of these teams are getting pulled apart next year.
Yes.
Like
Chattanooga.
Chattanooga.
Yeah, but Tormenta has the they have the academy to rebuild.
Yeah.
Technically, so does Chattanooga. I don't think they've signed anybody that's impactful.
But that was about it.
Yeah, I don't think they've signed anybody impactful from their 2 team or their academy yet.
Yeah, they signed 1 kid, but that was about it. But yeah, flip him and sell him. Like hot bricks. I wonder if the transfer money goes to Weekly's account.
So normally we pay this for a wire transfer, but I'm going to need you to download this Cash App.
Don't worry about this. Don't worry about the conversion fee. Just send it here.
You're gonna send the Fausto 4444.
Here's my card. Here's my card. Just do what you need to.
Please don't tell me this man has a Cash App card.
I would laugh if he did.
That's 100. Cash App is a scam. I'm convinced of it now because every time you tweet it, there's like 1,000 bots are like, "Hey, add me on Cash App." Like, I used to think it was like a legit thing, but now I'm just like, it's not. This is not a legit service.
I think it's a legit service. I think the people are just scamming because I don't know.
It's got to be like some sort of like Bitcoin hacking thing or something. I don't know, but regardless.
The thing with Cash App that I pause on is like, oh yeah, you can use this to like get your direct deposit, and I'm like, hold on, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, so this tweet was giving respect and not receiving it has me sucked.
Yeah, that man leaving. That man gone.
I don't know where he's going, but
that man gone. We know this. He gone.
Yeah, he's not there.
That man gone.
He's not there next year.
But
which is crazy because
I will say
good when he's played.
2-1 Tormenta win.
Low-key, at this point now, I need Chattanooga not to win just so I'm going to have his tweets on notifications ready to go. Soon as they don't win, I'm waiting on these tweets, Galindres.
He's going to go old school Drake sad boy tweets.
Oh, no. Oh, don't do that.
Man's it's gonna be 3 a.m. He's just gonna be tweeting out Bad Bunny lyrics.
You know what? I respect you for keeping it very consistent and very modern with the Bad Bunny.
Oh man, this is gonna be hilarious.
That's what one of my friends does when she drinks. She tweets out sad Bad Bunny lyrics.
God damn.
The crisis in Puerto Rico is just happening all around us. Another bottle of wine. Sorry.
Well,
I think Kyle wants to go to score predictions. I think he's like, let's wrap this up before we get.
What you got for score predictions, Kyle?
I said 2-1 Tormenta.
2-1 Tormenta. What you got up?
I'm gonna go 1-0 Tormenta.
Chuck?
1-1 Tormenta Chattanooga with 5-4 towards Tormented PKs.
God damn.
Damn.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna have an exciting ass battle. Give me 3-2 Tormenta with a hat trick from Sterling.
Damn.
Wait. You said 3-2?
3-2.
And Chip, you said penalties?
Yes.
For
1-1
Tormenta?
and then 1-1 and then they win 5-4 in penalties.
But my game is going to extra time.
Oh my god! All right.
Okay.
Can I get a red card in there?
Fucking Christ! I only have so many characters.
I just want complete chaos.
I see. Damn.
All right, so we got that out of the way. Last thing we got to talk about, guys. We have some great news that happened. We have a CBA now for the players, so they're not just working for fucking free. I was trying to get a player to come on here tonight, but he couldn't make it. But thoughts about the CBA? What does it mean for the league? Because you guys are better legal experts than me. Because I just saw it was like, they get fucking money.
I mean, I'm
It's
gonna
more
treat
than
it
the
like I
money.
did I'm gonna treat it like I did the NWSL one, and read the entire freaking thing and have some notes on it for next time. But until it comes out, I can't do that. But I'm excited. It's fucking security.
There's been some notes that came out from the players union. The one thing that stuck out to me was that at least 50% of their compensation has to be cash.
Yep.
And so I think a lot of these players are essentially getting room and board with like a stipend for food, which it's like, sure, you are getting paid to play technically, but that's not a way to make a living. There is no security there. You know, you can't contribute to your 401k with a $25 Hy-Vee gift card. So this is like real money.
Hey, if you sell it to a crackhead, he'll give you 50. You can put it towards your cash app.
Well, I think one of the
that
biggest
goes the
things
other
besides...
way. You buy the $25 gift card from them for $12.50. That's how that scam works, Yogi. But anyway,
what I was going to say is the nice thing is it's also the increase of the contract minimum per month. It's going to always increase year after year. So I think next year it's going to be $2,000 a month. Then it gets up to $2,100, then $2,200, $2,300, and then $2,500 in 2027. So it's like that's going to keep increasing. And I'm sure by the time it expires, they'll have to do a new one. But I think that and having the 50% of your compensation be cash is going to be huge. And I think for other teams, like having that housing stipend, having that signing bonus, like having that is going to help lure players as well.
And then what also was it was the 10-month guarantee contract.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, granted they could go more than that, but to see that on there was good to see as well.
Yeah, because you get all those like real short-term signing deals, which again, I'm sure there's some language about mid-season signings and things like that. So I don't know how it impacts that, but that's great as well. But you know, again, it's the stability, and assuming a 12-month contract, that's $12,000 cash minimum plus living, which isn't awesome, but it's great. And I think, you know,
it's
as we look forward, as we look
in the right direction,
and as we look forward to like the growth of the league as a whole, definitely one of the obstacles is going to be attracting players to play. Because at the same time, most of these guys, if you went the college route, can probably go and use your college degree and get a lot more money than you can make playing soccer. So how do we make it so these guys want to play soccer? It's an attractive option for them where they can make money and then play for a while and then transition into the professional world or into a graduate program or something else and take that next step in their life.
Yeah.
It's definitely good to see for that league. And shout out Andrew Wheeler, Omaniu, Kalen Fox, and then Vincenzo Candela, because they were kind of like part of that bargaining committee team. And I already texted Andrew. I was like, hey, good work. And he's definitely over the moon on that. So want to give a shout out to those three players.
Super excited about it. So it's good to see. Good to see it get done. That's great that we have that in place now. Guys, tomorrow we'll figure out who's going to be the MVP. There's a 66% chance it'll end up in Richmond. But yeah, anything else before we wrap up the show, buddies?
Fuck you, Kyrie. Stop talking and apologize.
Yeah, right.
I'm just you asked if I had any last words, and those are my last words.
Anything on your part, compadre?
No.
You look sleepy.
Just chilling. started a new position, so it's been a hell of a couple of weeks.
Oh, well, look at you getting that money. Chip, my man, anything from you, compadre?
Yeah, if you don't know who to pull for, definitely pull for Tormenta.
And there we go.
Hey, who's gonna have the spiciest memes if they win?
Yeah.
Chattanooga's just gonna be like, we won the championship. Go Chattanooga. Bolt's gonna have like receipts that he pulls. There'll be like some sort of TikTok. No, but there's gonna be like a TikTok of Bolt dancing on whatever college bars in Statesboro or Georgia with the USLW and USL1 trophy if they win or something.
It's a dry county.
No.
It's a dry county.
Yo.
No, that's real.
Yeah.
What?
Yo. You know what I need Bolt to do? You know what I need Bolt to do?
They sell beer at the stadium, I thought.
I need Bolt or Sterling to do the Kobe picture with the trophy. I need one of them to do.
That's not where I thought you were heading with that answer.
What you thought?
I thought you were going to say they need to go to Magic City.
Hey. Fuck it. Change it. Bolt. We going to Magic City, dog. I need Bolt to go to Magic City that night. I need Dan in the club. I need Sterling. I need Kingsford. I need Bush.
That would be some very confused workers. They're like, wait, what are you celebrating?
Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
Why can't we drink out of this trophy?
As I got these trophies, we having fun. Can you imagine Bolt in Magic City? Dog.
Kyle, why'd you do this?
Me and Bolt would have a hell of a time. I'll tell Bolt, hey, Bolt, take a shot of Hennessy, get some ass thrown on you.
I know our audience.
Bolt, I'm here for you, dog.
You want a solo cam? That?
No.
Bolt, I'm here for you, dog. I'm here for you. If you win this title, I'm sending you some money to go to Magic City, my guy. Gotta get some ass thrown on you. You gotta get some chicken wings for my man. Look, I gotta set Sterling up right because Sterling said he like Gucci Man. Oh, yeah, we gotta take him to Atlanta. How far Atlanta is away?
Like 2.5, 3 hours.
That's fine. We're gonna be drunk anyway on the road to Atlanta.
On a Sunday night.
Everybody go to the strip club. Everybody been at least once. We gonna take Dan in there. Dan might fuck around and find another forward.
I mean, shit. If it's a dry county, what else are they supposed to do?
It's not a dry county anymore. Supposedly, it just happened.
Okay.
Oh, it must have like literally just happened. Okay.
They knew the finals happening. Maybe they
they're like, this is gonna be big. That's still crazy that in the year 2022 of our Lord that you have a dry county in the South. Like, I just figured there was no rules in the South, especially like rural South. They're just like, just do whatever.
That's the main rule. Is
we
you
going
don't
to Magic City. We going to Magic City. We gonna have fun. We gonna have some fun. Just imagine both of them with both trophies with just two strippers on front of him with a cigar in his mouth.
Yogi, no. We can't do this.
Hey, Kingsford, DM me your cash app. I got you, dog. I sent you 20 for shots.
We're still going.
And
oh, y'all want me to do the show for real? All right, I got you.
He's talking about going to Magic City with a USL League One championship. You know what?
I'll just go down there to celebrate with him. Hey, bro, we going. I bet we in there, dog.
Yogi's just gonna be waiting in a hotel room in Atlanta by the airport, just waiting for that text message.
Just get the text from Bolt. Hey, yo, we on the way. Bet, say less.
Text from Bolt. We ride.
All right, let's go. We in here.
Yogi's like, I'll get the booth.
Right. You drinking Hennessy tonight, baby. Incredible hustle. Getting served like crazy.
Well, the thing is, Magic City works for both teams.
Fuck Chattanooga. We ain't worried about them. They ain't want to know what to do in Magic City. Outside of their head coach. Nobody else would know what to do with Magic City.
Who do you think's driving the bus?
Look, man.
That team bus is going straight. No, he's getting on the team bus, and they're going straight up to Atlanta.
And they can keep their ass straight because I need this content with Bolt. I got aspirations and dreams.
Aspirations. Sorry, that was slow. That was low.
What are we
Anyway,
doing? What are we doing?
Belly shots off a stripper with the title in one hand. Glorious content.
Oh, God. So going back to that worst song in the 90s, or the 2010s, sorry.
Whatever song playing in the strip club.
That, what? No.
He gets some honors.
We had some good answers, so I'm very happy about that.
We're still live.
Paper Planes?
That's for my wife.
Yeah, I know.
Trash.
Well, and the person.
Hey, Bolt, DM me, dog.
Thrift shop. That is a strong one. Thrift shop is a good call. Anything by the Black Eyed Peas.
That's fair.
Bolt.
Those are all good answers.
Bolt.
So good job.
Once you get this title, DM me. I got you, big fella.
They're not going to the blue room.
With that being said, folks, we got one more episode next week. Guys, we're almost done with season 2 of this podcast. Holy shit. It's been fun.
Wild.
We got a lot of off-season content to do as well. For Eb, for Kyle, for Chip, Bolt, win the title. I'll meet you in Magic City, my guy. We'll holler at you guys next week where we will talk about the end of the year. Easy, guys. See ya.